Tonight, heavy thunderstorms down trees and power lines across the city.
The cable, as you can see there, it caught the fall of the trees.
The downpour is also causing flooding on many roads. All this as the city and much of the province remain under a heat warning. Plus,
it's been long overdue, as you can see. I definitely need a haircut.
Starting tomorrow, anyone who needs a haircut or is looking to get their nails done can do so as the province enters step 2 of reopening. And
I mean, oh God, we have to find ways to stop this.
could someone be watching you without you knowing? Private moments captured on home security cameras are being live streamed on a website, but experts say it's not illegal. We'll tell you why and how to protect yourself. Good evening, I'm Kelda Yoon. A severe thunderstorm watch for Toronto has ended, but a heat warning remains in place tonight for the GTA and much of the province. Now, earlier in the day, a powerful storm caused flooding throughout the city, bringing down power lines and trees. Our Dahlia Ashry is in the beach and joins us now. And Dahlia, Toronto Fire fielding a lot of calls today.
That's right, Kelda. I know it's not raining right now, but earlier today it was raining on and off and scattered thunderstorms throughout the day, which brought down trees like this one in this neighborhood right behind me, also damaging part of the home. Now, also what we know, it brought down power lines, and the extreme rainfall also flooded parts of the city's roads and causing cars to be stuck as well. Now, I spoke to Toronto Fire earlier today, and they said in the span of 2 hours and 40 minutes, they received 131 calls related to flooding and down trees and wires. Now, the Environment Canada has issued a heat warning throughout tonight, and rain will also continue, and the city says it will continue to clear up roads.
It looks like a doomsday scene straight out of a movie. Gloomy skies and heavy downpours across the city. The thunderstorm bringing down trees and power lines in some neighborhoods.
The cable, as you can see there, it caught the fall of the tree, so the tree didn't actually fall into our house, which is great. We're just losing some power right now, and we're lacking air conditioning, so hopefully this doesn't last too long.
All the rain resulting in flooding on some roads. This was near Yonge and Davisville earlier this afternoon. A few cars getting stuck. The city says it's hard at work.
Toronto Water is continuously out addressing any flooding, spot flooding that may be happening, but also, clearing basins, catch basins around the city so that that deluge of water can be drained away safely.
Toronto is also under a heat warning, and while we aren't experiencing record-breaking hot temperatures like much of Western Canada, particularly in BC, where dozens of sudden deaths linked to the heat wave have been reported, the city says it is working hard to ensure the most vulnerable stay safe.
We shelter more than 6,000 people every night in the city of Toronto. For those who choose to remain outside, then that's where, as I say, we do those wellness checks. We have cooling centers when a heat alert is called.
This climate expert says better long-term solutions are needed.
In a recent report we just issued, we analyzed the benefits of creating affordable housing and getting people into permanent safe housing off of the streets. And what we show is that in addition to protecting those people's health and reducing the number of premature deaths associated with deadly hot days, there are also multiple benefits from reducing the demand that those people end up having on social services.
Around 6 in the afternoon in Mississauga, 6 teenagers were in a culvert, and after high levels of water rose, 2 out of the 6 teenagers were trapped, were safely rescued by Mississauga Fire and Emergency Rescue teams. Now, Toronto Region and Conservation Authority are urging everyone stay away from rivers and shorelines. As the water levels increase, it could be dangerous and water could overflow. Kelda?
Thanks so much, Dahlia. That's our Dahlia Ashry live for us tonight. Colette Kennedy joins us now with a first look at the forecast. And Colette, it's been quite the day with the heat and then the heavy rains.
Thanks, Kelda. Boy, oh boy, what a roller coaster ride of a day in terms of our weather, right? Everything with with the heat, with the heavy downpours, the lightning, all of this, the strong winds too, and rainfall warnings, just about everything. And of course, just feeling so oppressive. We are going to get into some changes, but I have to tell you too, the roller coaster ride, just that our temperatures were taking, as of lunchtime, we were up to 31 degrees. Our humidex value was up to 41, and then we started in with that first round of storms coming through, so the temperature dipped. Then that passes through. We had a little dry slot, back up to 30. Then the next round coming through. So this is that seesaw effect that we saw throughout the day. What didn't change is just the fact how sticky it was. All of that moisture continues to be available. And so that's why we're still going to see some isolated showers and thunderstorms tonight into tomorrow morning. But check this out, as we get into tomorrow afternoon, we will begin to see some clearing and also the air mass itself drying out. As for Canada Day, I'm going to get to that a little later in the show. Tonight it's 21 degrees. By tomorrow afternoon, with some of that clearing, still 28, but then coming down. Kelda.
Thanks, Colette. The province is set to enter step 2 of reopening tomorrow. That means places like barbershops, nail salons, and tattoo parlors can start welcoming clients again after months of empty chairs. Ali Chiasson has more.
Need a trim?
It's been long overdue. As you can see, I definitely need a haircut.
Looking for a new look just because you can?
I actually booked a hair appointment, which is out of the ordinary for me, but it's just been a very long time, so I thought I would treat myself and support a local independent business.
As excited as you are to visit, those business owners are probably even more excited to welcome you. Carefully.
There's so much excitement, but there's also nerves about being shut down again. I'm feeling pretty positive this time.
As of tomorrow, you can also finally get that tattoo you've designed during quarantine. Hit the salon, the mall, but it will still be a while yet before you can hit the gym.
I wish that would have happened, but I kind of had an idea that we weren't going to be part of phase 2.
Working out in the gym is going to have to wait until step 3. The folks at Body by Chosen have adapted by offering outdoor classes, but
it's still not the same because at the end of the day, we've built our community inside of our gym. And we do a lot of personal training, so our personal training clients, some might want to train at 6 a.m., some might want to train at 9 p.m., you know what I'm saying? So it's like, for them, our class schedules don't kind of fit their schedules.
So they've still got time to dust off the dumbbells before welcoming clients back inside.
Whatever you need, we got you.
And Lauren knows you're ready.
100%.
So how long until we enter step 3? Ontario's new Chief Medical Officer of Health doesn't want to rush it.
I do think a 21-day interval is prudent, and I personally don't want to see that shortened.
So if vaccination rates continue trending upward and cases down, and the voracious Delta variant is under control, Ontario should be entering step 3, 3 weeks from tomorrow.
We want to ensure that the gains we've made are maintained and that we do not step backwards in our reopening efforts.
Ali Chiasson, CBC News, Toronto.
The City of Toronto opened up hundreds of thousands of new vaccine appointments today. 375,000 new spots were added to the provincial booking system at 8 this morning. And it didn't take long for people to start snapping them up. The city says 30,000 spots were booked within just 2 hours. The appointments are being offered at all 9 City of Toronto-run vaccine clinics. They're open to anyone booking a first dose or hoping to accelerate the timeline for a second dose. Rod Phillips made his first public appearance today as a newly appointed Minister of Long-Term Care, announcing changes to restrictions that will allow more people to visit and care for residents. As Jessica Ng reports, families and advocates are happy with the changes, but say they should have been made a long time ago.
Today, she reached out with her hand for the table to get the fork. She has not done that in 6 months.
Michelle Jones attributes the improvement she's seeing in her 102-year-old grandmother Ethel to easing of restrictions within long-term care facilities and being able to connect with more family.
What did it mean for you when you saw Grandma give you that reaction?
Today this was a good day. And I want everyone else to have those kind of good days with their residents, with their loved ones in there, because it has been very, very difficult and a very trying time.
Successive governments, including this one, failed residents, they failed families, and they failed our staff. And on behalf of both past governments and the current government, I apologize for that.
Today, Rod Phillips publicly debuted as the new Minister of Long-Term Care, taking responsibility for failures within the sector and announcing how restrictions will be eased starting July 7th, when the limit on how many caregivers a resident can have will be dropped.
Up to 10 people can visit a resident outdoors. All residents can have an indoor visit with 2 visitors and 2 caregivers. And personal care services, like hairdressers, will be allowed in the homes.
Phillips says the changes aren't coming into play tomorrow when the province enters step 2 of its reopening plan to give facilities more time to prepare. But advocates say restrictions at long-term care homes should have eased a long time ago, as 99% of residents are vaccinated and 84% of staff have both doses.
Nowhere in any other sector do we have immunization rates this high. So the fact that we have been, frankly, sitting on our hands for this long, and I put most of that at the heels of the previous minister, it has been, a glaring misstep.
Jones is happy she has been able to take her grandmother outside of the home recently, but wishes it happened sooner.
Here we are in July and he's just opening it up now. It's not a prison.
She says she's just thankful her whole family will be able to gather again, something that hasn't happened in well over a year. Jessica Ng, CBC News, Toronto.
Peel Regional Police announced the arrest of 9 people in connection to a shooting on Christmas. They allege the suspects shot into a Brampton home.
They did not know if there were children, mothers, fathers, brothers, or sisters in that residence.
Police say the shooting was related to activity between 2 rival gangs. No injuries were reported. 4 guns, ammunition, and cash were all seized by officers. 8 of the 9 people arrested are from Brampton. The other is from Mississauga. Police say all suspects were known to them. You might remember some of these videos from April. It looked like a scene from a Fast and Furious film. Now, hundreds of charges have been laid and dozens of cars impounded. As Greg Ross reports, it's all part of a joint effort between GTA police services to crack down on organized street racing.
A sophisticated police initiative going after sophisticated street racing and stunt driving groups in the GTA.
Thank you, Laura. These groups were highly organized, focused on illegally taking over intersections, prearranging street races, and stunt demonstrations for hundreds of attendees.
York Regional Police joined forces with Toronto Police, Peel Police, and the OPP to go after organizers and participants.
Using covert and overt surveillance, such as the York Regional Police helicopter Air 2, we were able to identify a number of these groups.
And now dozens are facing charges.
70 arrests, a total of 346 charges, including, and the breakdown, 67 criminal charges, 279 under the Highway Traffic Act, 61 vehicles impounded, and 57 driver's license suspensions.
It's a problem police say worsened at the start of the pandemic, with organizers using social media to promote gatherings like this one in Toronto in April.
Over 300 people took over 2 intersections in our city. Not only did some of the participants engage in dangerous driving practices, but attendees lit one intersection on fire with an accelerant.
When police arrived to break it up, cruisers were surrounded while drivers fled the scene. Police say this is one reason why collaboration between forces is key.
They move jurisdiction to jurisdiction, hoping that we are going to stop our enforcement efforts once they reach a border, but that's not the case.
With the latest sequel in the Fast and the Furious franchise currently #1 at the box office, some car enthusiasts might be tempted to emulate what they see on the big screen. But police say there's a big difference.
When they film these movies, they do so with safety in place, with professionals doing it. The reality is the folks that are doing it now on our streets, they're not professional, they're not equipped to do this. If you're going to be doing donuts and circles in a parking lot with people watching inches away, that's dangerous.
New legislation that goes into effect July 1st will mean stiffer penalties for these types of offenses, including an automatic license suspension of 30 days and a 14-day vehicle impoundment. Greg Ross, CBC News, Toronto.
Welcome back. Education Minister Stephen Lecce says consultations with Indigenous leaders and elders have begun as Ontario seeks to update its curriculum.
That is something we're doing in real time, in partnership and in consultation with Indigenous leaders. We want them to very much lead this process.
Revising school curriculums was one of the recommendations from Canada's Truth and Reconciliation Commission. The former Wynne Liberal government committed to updating course content in 2016, but the Ford government abruptly cancelled long-planned consultations with Indigenous educators and elders on curriculum changes when they came to power in 2018. Aleche was asked repeatedly today why the province did that, but didn't provide a direct answer. Meanwhile, the Ontario government did announce today funding to fight Islamophobia in schools.
Sadly, we have seen a rise in instances of Islamophobia in Ontario. And this is concerning and alarming because so many people, including Muslims, came here for a better life for themselves and for their kids, only to have to face discrimination and even violence in their workplaces, schools.
The province will give $300,000 to Muslim organizations to create digital resources to raise awareness of Islamophobia for teachers and students, as well as to provide school supports for Muslim families. Well, people's private moments are being made public on a website without their knowledge or consent. The site, reportedly based in Russia, has been live streaming security cameras that are not password protected, including some right here in the GTA. Angelina King has the story.
An elderly woman in her room eating, a commode beside her, a woman taking her dog for a walk, restaurant staff cooking lunch. Private moments all visible in real time for anyone to see through a website that's live streaming thousands of cameras without passwords around the world. On any given day, there are more than 250 in Canada, including one at a Toronto coffee shop where the camera was taken down after an employee was told he was being watched online.
She was able to identify key traits of people who were working, me and another person. Definitely uncomfortable.
CBC isn't using Andy's full last name because he says he's uneasy after his privacy was breached. We're also not naming the website to avoid contributing to privacy invasion. The Office of the Privacy Commissioner of Canada has been tracking it for years. In 2014, it sent the website's operator a letter demanding the site be taken down. A spokesperson for the Commissioner's office says the site stopped streaming for a time, then ramped up showing just outdoor cameras, but in recent weeks it started once again streaming private indoor settings.
Oh, God. We have to find ways to stop this.
Former Ontario Privacy Commissioner Anne Kavukian says the potential for unethical use of the videos is endless.
Privacy is all about control. It's about personal control over the use and disclosure of your personal information. This throws it out the door.
On the website, I was able to watch several people in real time.
Like this, and so I wanted to be able to let them know so they could secure their cameras, but it was really difficult to track everybody down.
I was able to get in contact with a few businesses in Ontario, and then some feeds were taken down.
Now, this definitely feels intrusive, but is it illegal?
This lawyer says no, and that the onus is on camera owners to ensure they're secured.
It's like leaving your windows open when people drive by on the street. If they can look in and see what's happening inside your house, well, if you want your privacy, you shut your drapes.
While the website says it doesn't hack cameras, cybersecurity expert Sumit Bhatia says ones without passwords can lead to further breaches if other devices like phones and laptops are on the same network. An even bigger concern now while people are working from home.
Work laptops and computers are now also accessible by hackers who've hacked into security cams.
The Privacy Commissioner's office says it's figuring out how to best address the website. In the meantime, the biggest piece of advice, ensure your cameras are protected with a complex password. Angelina King, CBC News, Toronto.
All right, a severe thunderstorm watch is not in place anymore, but as you can see on the camera, still the sky is still a bit rainy out there. Now the heat will also stick around into tomorrow morning. Currently 21 degrees, feeling more like 27. Let's go back to Colette now for a look at your extended forecast. And Colette, the rains cooled things down a little bit, but still very hot and sticky for much of the day.
Thanks, Kelda. Boy, you know, it gets to be a bit much when you have the heat like this. Okay, it's not the same as what's happening in Western Canada, but still, our humidex value spiked up to 41 today. We are going to be seeing some changes, but they have to work their way in. So still some isolated showers and thunderstorms tonight into tomorrow morning, maybe even the early part of the afternoon. So yes, a few thunderstorms kind of thrown in there, but then we'll see those winds turning towards the west and a drier feel to the air moving in, and then some partial clearing tomorrow afternoon too. So it becomes more comfortable, feeling good. You'll sleep better probably tomorrow night perhaps than tonight or last night. Now for Canada Day, I do have some showers, a few areas. Those are going to be popping up. I'm going to help walk you through that so we can have a look here in just a moment. But kind of first of all, taking you through some of the isolated stuff we're seeing through the overnight and tomorrow morning. Yeah, you still see a few heavy downpours. This is just after lunch, but then we get into that partial clearing that I mentioned. So kind of variable, those skies into the afternoon hours. After that, a few isolated showers, by the way, still into southwestern Ontario. Here we go. Canada Day into the afternoon, at least midday. We're still finding it dry along the north shore of Lake Ontario, so cloud cover around towards St. Catharines and Niagara region, and then the development. So there'll be some isolated showers and thunderstorms there in the evening. Earlier than that, actually, it'll probably be the afternoon hours. We'll see it to the west and northwest of the GTA. So depending where you're going to be spending your time, keep that in mind. Tonight, a bit of fog is possible in here too. Still some of these isolated storms. 21. Now Windsor, you're up to 28 tomorrow, but you'll see that actually falling in the afternoon. So we'll hit that earlier, and then not only the temperatures coming down, the humidex values too. Kind of the same thing we're going to see. We'll spike up to 28 tomorrow, feeling like 34 or 35, and then in the afternoon getting more comfortable. Cooler for sure. Canada Day at 23, Friday 22, still a chance of showers, and then closer to seasonal and perhaps a little drier and less active for the weekend, Kelda.
Thanks, Colette.
The what?
Well, finally tonight, Russia used to launch dogs as test subjects at the start of the space race. Today, things have definitely changed. These are their high-tech descendants training to become the Astro Canine Pack of the 21st century. Boston Dynamics dog-like robot Spot has been given artificial intelligence to prepare it for possible future Mars missions. It would be used to autonomously explore caves. Now, the concept is being tested in a cave complex in Northern California. NASA's Jet Propulsion Lab developed the AI, which allows the Spots to work without human guidance in environments too dangerous for people. And that is our show for you tonight. Thank you so much for watching. Dwight Drummond has your next local newscast tomorrow at 6. Have a great night, everyone.